you for joining us here on Club Sports Network. I'm Lexi Wesley, joined by Judson, Eddins. There's been a lot of sports to take place on Tech campus, yet there's one that many may not know about.
This week we spent some time with one sport in particular. Texas Tech Paintball gave us a behind-the-scenes look at how they play the game. Let's check it out.
To me, paintball is a sport, but it's also a therapy. Wherever you go, it doesn't matter what field, what team, it's a bond. You make friends over it, you make a second family over it. It's another home.
It makes you think. It kind of makes you think away from whatever's going on, whatever problems you have, school, stress, anything, because you have to only be thinking about what you're doing.
Most of us are out here for fun, but we also want to win at the same time. I would say it's fun, it's an adrenaline rush, and there's nothing else like it. In Texas Tech Paintball, we have players from a lot higher skill level, so semi-pro to pro, all the way down to beginners. So it's just a pool of knowledge that the pro players will help the new guys. The new guys will just look up to them and be like, oh my gosh, I want to be at that level someday.
I have several guys that have played this sport for a very long time, and they can teach anybody how to play this sport. So we'll stand on the sidelines and try to coach them along and tell them, hey, look for this, you know, pay attention to this, be ready for this, you know, and as soon as the game's over, we'll walk them through it.
My skill level is totally different from when I first started. Having them coach me, having Doug coach me, having some of the other players coach me. I think if I was doing it by myself, there was no way I would have not been able to be at the skill level I am right now.
As far as paintball, I've grown in paintball. I've become a lot better player because I'm playing not only in my league, but in leagues way ahead of me.
There's been several of them over the course of the years that have come out here, and they show up for the tryouts that they post at Tech. And those guys, they come in with guns from academy, you know, just, they don't know nothing about the sport, they just want to try it. And we get them out here and you start working with them and kind of molding these guys and to see them change and look at you and say, hey, I get it. I understand what you're talking about. And it's awesome, it's great.
For this coming up year, our goals are to win first place. We kind of just stuck there at the second, third place.
I'd like to see it grow a lot. We lost a few players last semester due to graduation or they just didn't have the funds. So I'd like to see it grow a lot more, and then I'd like to see us progress. Most of us are out here for fun, but we also want to win at the same time.
This sport builds character, friendships. There's a lot of things this sport can do. That's why I still play this game. I've been playing for 20 years and we just keep on going.
Welcome back to Club Sports Network. As you just saw, paintball can be an intense game for some, but for others, it's an escape. Another key element to this team is coach and field owner Doug Bryant. He's been coaching this team and playing this sport for over 20 years and has had much success in contributing to these players in their growth.
Yeah, that's right, Lexi. Coach Bryant really has been instrumental in the development of these players over time. But what I find the most interesting, what really grabbed my attention as soon as we arrived at the paintball facility, was the massive matte black zombie bus that they had parked outside. I mean, this thing was outfitted with lights on the outside. It had paintball gun turrets on the inside and the big biohazard sign painted all over it. It was really the ultimate zombie getaway vehicle. But what's even more intriguing than the bus itself is Coach Bryant's story and how he actually acquired it.
I got a kid named Riley Coffey that works for me, and he's a great kid. He was young, and we decided we was going to do this zombie bus deal. I was going to get a school bus and mount these guns in the windows and get UV lights in these glow-in-the-dark paintballs, and we're going to shoot these zombies and drive around. And so I told Riley, get up early and we're going to go to Midland, this town close to Midland, and pick up this school bus. So we drive for about two and a half hours, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a real small building in the back with looks like some semi-trucks, and there's a bunch of racks with car parts, and there's pit bulls tied up to these racks, you know. And I looked at Riley, and there's these FEMA trailers. I looked at Riley, and his eyes are big as grapefruits, you know. And we come pulling up, and there's some older gentlemen drinking some really hot big beers that you buy for probably 99 cents. You know, they're about this big around, about this tall. And I've armed myself with a pistol and told Riley to get in the driver's seat and lock the door. Don't turn the car off. And if something happens, you see me running towards the car, don't open the door. I'll jump in the back of the pickup, and you need to drive really, really fast. So I get the guy in the cab, and we start the vehicle or the bus, and he calls somebody and talks to him in Spanish, and this little girl comes running out of this FEMA trailer. Well, this guy's standing right here, and he keeps asking me for the money, and I have the money in my back pocket. So I act like I'm gonna get out of the bus, and I said, let me look at that title right there. And so I look at the title, and the money's in my back pocket, and the handle's right here. So I sling that money out the window, slam the door, and jump in the seat, and we drive off. To about 3.5 hours later, with no tags, no license plates, no stickers, we arrived back in Lubbock. It was a wild, crazy ride. And people love it. It's been awesome. We painted it flat black, and it's got a biohazard symbol on the side of it, and it says zombie hunt down one side. So it's been fun.
Man, what a great story from Coach Bryant. When we come back, we'll be sitting down with Raimundo Garcia, who's the captain of Texas Tech Paintball. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Club Sports Network. We're here with President of Texas Tech Club Paintball, Raimundo Garcia. Raimundo, you're coming off of a really great fall semester. You've experienced a lot of good times with you and your teammates. Tell me about some of the highs that you've experienced as a team and also some of the lows that have gone along with that.
Yeah, so start off with lows. Our first tournament of the year, we didn't do too well. So we kind of took a step back, regrouped, and then came out our last tournament. We actually got third, so it was a big improvement from the first tournament that we had, just by committing to practices, showing up, doing what we needed to do.
So we're getting ready to go into Christmas break. What are some things that you guys are preparing for the spring semester and that you'd like to see happen with paintball?
So for the spring semester, we're preparing for a national tournament in Orlando, Florida. We go there every year. Since we've gotten better each year. My first year here, we got 7th. Last year, we got 10th. Which might not sound that good, but we are getting better. So we hope to get in the top 3 this next semester. So some things just for the semester is continue going to practice, growing the sport, letting Texas Tech students know that paintball does exist and that there is an outlet to escape everything else that's going on in your life.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, Raimundo, you're a junior right now. You've got one more semester in your junior year, and then you're into your senior year. What are some things you're excited to see with the paintball team before you graduate?
To obviously grow the sport, especially out here in West Texas. It's not that big of a sport. Another thing is to win a tournament. I don't believe we haven't won a first place tournament in a while, so that's definitely something we look forward to doing this year.
That's awesome. Well, Raimundo, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining Club Sports Network. For Judson, Eddins, I'm Lexi, Wesley, and you can catch us here at the same place, same time next week.